Hi guys, and welcome to another video, and we are back on transfer news. We're back on the rumour mill. We're back on transfer rumours, away from the depressive state that was yesterday in the FA Cup third round, where of course we did get knocked out by Stoke, and we're going to be speaking about a Stoke man in this video as well. Now this is of course just rumours, but it has been reported by several journalists, all the strikers I'm going to talk about in this video. And yes, you did hear me correctly, we are looking at strikers, and Rodgers has hinted that he is looking for a further striker as well, because it just seems we're really going for it. Of course, move away from yesterday, I feel like a lot of people are going to be hung up on that a little bit, because it wasn't a great watch. But like I said in yesterday's review, let's push on, let's move on from it. The league is absolutely the priority, and it was such a rotated 11, and you know, it was such a mix and matched 11 that we used yesterday, and we were changing system every 20 minutes, and it definitely doesn't reflect where the season's going. You know, we've just brought in Enzo Lefebvre, and now it looks like we're going for real high caliber, ready-made strikers as well. Again, it is just rumours, but it is refreshing that we're getting linked with players that aren't 16, 17 years of age from South America or somewhere in Europe that we've never heard of and hasn't played, you know, men's football. Do you know what I mean? And someone who's ready to come in, not someone who's going to maybe play half an hour throughout the entire season and next season have a couple of appearances here and there. It's players that are ready to go, and I think they are starting to realise, you know, the people at the top of the club now, they're realising that we're in a great position, third in the league, 3 points off the top. Why not go for it? Let's not just settle, let's go for it. So, who am I talking about? Anyway, we'll start off with the first one, and of course, in the comments down below, let me know if you would take any of these strikers. The lad on screen here, Brereton Diaz. Now, he's had a really sort of up and down career, particularly in the last few years. He recently moved to Southampton, well, at the beginning of the season. Of course, Southampton in general are struggling like hell anyway. I think it's the worst points tally in Premier League history at this point of a season that they've got at the minute, actually overtaking us from all those years ago. I remember that season years ago, and it was horrible, absolutely horrible. But yeah, so I feel you Southampton fans. But Brereton Diaz, he hasn't scored a goal this season. You know, prior to that, he had been abroad with Villarreal, didn't work out there. He had a loan spell at Sheffield United at the back end of the season, and he scored 6 goals in 14 appearances, and I think he had like an assist or two as well. Prior to that, I think not last season, the season prior, he was at Blackburn, where he was absolutely outstanding. I think he scored a blinder against us as well. So it's for the Championship and for the short term, Brereton Diaz would be an absolutely outstanding acquisition, in my opinion. Now, the rumours and the reports that are coming out are that Southampton do want to get rid. They do want to do an initial loan for the remainder of the season, but they want to put a buy clause where you have to purchase at the end of the season. So this is where things get interesting. So apparently both Sheffield United and Sunderland are interested. Brereton Diaz's preference is Sheffield United, which is somewhat understandable. He knows the place, he understands it, they know him, they know how to play him, so of course it's going to be his preference. However, apparently Chris Wilder is hanging his hat on Ollie McBurney from Las Palmas, and essentially, if that doesn't come to fruition, then he will focus on Brereton Diaz. And apparently it's only Sunderland that have said that they will pay the fee at the end of the loan and they will purchase him. However, Sheffield United at the moment, it looks like they are not able to commit to that purchase at the end. So Sunderland are actually somewhat leading the race, but at the same time, Brereton Diaz, his preference is Sheffield United. So it's one that's sort of up and down. Of course, for me, personally, I don't know whether I'm just thinking a bit selfishly, like, oh God, how dare you look down upon Sunderland and want to go Sheffield United. That's kind of how I'm looking at it a little bit. You know, if you don't want to come to us, then we don't want you. But I can also understand why the preference would be there. That wouldn't necessarily mean that he wouldn't want to come. It's just a preference, and I can understand why that preference would be there. So for me, he would be a fantastic acquisition. You know, because at the minute, if Wilson Isidore gets injured, or like the other a few weeks ago when he had 7 games without a goal, we need someone else to chip in. Brereton Diaz is ready-made, fit, and ready to go to score goals in the Championship, in my opinion. He's great at playing off the back of the defenders. He runs in behind, pace, strength. He's got that sort of intelligence of where the ball's going to drop, and he can't half strike a ball as well. His finishing ability, particularly in the Championship, is proven. It's the proven striker that we've all been crying out for the last few years. So that would be a fantastic acquisition short term for me. Would he be able to do it in the Premier League? If we were to get the Premier League, of course, fingers crossed, I'm not too sure. He hasn't done it for Southampton, but if it means we have to pay at the end of a deal, but we get to go to the Premier League, do it. Do you know what I mean? Or if not, if we don't go up, we still have a championship quality striker ready to go and he's experienced. So if for a short term, that would be my choice out of the players that we're going to be discussing in this video. But moving on, we have Tom Cannon. Now, Tom Cannon is someone who we've played a handful of times recently. He scored against us only yesterday. Now, apparently there is rumours, there are reports that in the summer we did make several bids to Leicester for Tom Cannon, but they rejected it in favour of a loan move. And of course, he went to Stoke. Now, apparently there is a break and there's a clause in his contract that starts or it can be triggered as of next Wednesday or this coming Wednesday, where there is a break in his contract where I don't know whether they can look at other clubs. And we are looking for a loan move. However, now Leicester are favouring I believe it's a permanent. I'm not too sure. But Tom Cannon, I think if it had to be a permanent move for Brereton Diaz or Tom Cannon, I would probably favour Cannon in that I think he has a hell of a lot of potential. He's already a very decent striker, scoring, I think, 10 goals in all competitions for Stoke this season. I think when we're bringing in players like a Lafayette, who can, creative minds like that, who can break forward, and you have someone like a Tom Cannon, you can find him, and he is almost like your typical number 9 that we haven't seen in a while. He has that strength, he has that nous, and he has the ability, and he has a hell of a strike on the lad as well, which we've seen. He would be a fantastic acquisition long term. Or I don't know whether it would be a case of us nicking in ahead of Stoke and then trying to get him on loan for the remainder of the season. I'm not too sure. But like I say, if it was for a permanent deal, I would probably go for Cannon for the longevity. Brereton Diaz is someone who I think will just be able to do the job short term. And I don't know whether committing to that. I don't know. It's a difficult one. And of course, it is only rumours, but this is just me speculating and just rambling in my own thoughts, really. So Tom Cannon has been linked as well as of this morning. Those reports have come out from several different journalists. And there's one more as well, which was actually linked, not as of recently, but at the beginning of January, that I just wanted to touch upon as well, because there's nothing really too concrete there, and it is actually looking like he might be going to Leeds, and it is Louis Barry. Now, Louis Barry is someone who he's spent the first half of the season on loan at Stockport, and he was outstanding there. Bags of goals. Of course, it isn't quite championship level, but he's on loan. He's been on loan from Aston Villa. Then in January, the beginning of January, he was recalled from Aston Villa, and they want to put him out or send him back out on loan, or potentially even for a permanent deal. But they want to put him a level above. They want to test him out a level above. And I think that would be an outstanding acquisition if we managed to get it on a permanent. And I only say we because we were rumoured at the beginning of January, but now it is mainly Leeds. It looks like Leeds are in the driving seat for that one. But it has been rumoured that Hull are after him as well. I wouldn't be gutted if we didn't get Louis Barry. If it wasn't a permanent, I think that would be outstanding because he's only a young lad. And I've seen his goals, again, granted it isn't championship level, but the goals he's scoring, regardless of what level, are very, very clever, very intelligent, and he's had bagfuls of games already at a young age now, and he can do the job. So that would be an exciting bit of competition on the wing. Of course, we have Watson and Mundell on one side, and of course, at the minute, we only have Roberts. We have Al-Shishi now, who's doing very, very well, but his future's up in the air. But someone like a Louis Barry, who can work alongside a Roberts or give competition, I think that'd be an outstanding acquisition as well. But again, that is only rumours, and it was only really sort of touted, and it was only spoke about at the beginning of January. We haven't really been involved since when it has come to rumours and news. But those are the 3 strikers we've been somewhat linked with over the last few days, and particularly Brereton Diaz and Tom Cannon. Those names have only really come up over the last 24 hours. So those 2 are very, very exciting prospects. I'm not too sure whether either will come to fruition. We'll have to wait and see anyway. But let me know in the comments down below what you think of these 3. Which one would you go for? If you could select any of these players, which one would you go for? And why? Let me know in the comments. But if you've enjoyed, if you're excited, come on, let's smile again. Let's smile again. We're back in the league. We're going back to championship action next week. It don't get easier. It doesn't get any easier, by the way. Taking on Burnley, of course. But we are going to go full strength. And I'm really, really excited. I'm optimistic. As you can probably tell, it's going to be difficult regardless. This second half of the season, we really need to push on, go for it, get behind the lads. I say that, you'll probably see me bitching, moaning, screaming in videos to come, but that's just because I love it. That's because I'm passionate. But anyway, if you enjoyed, hit the like button for me, subscribe if you're new. But for now, take care, stay jammy, away the lads.